Hello internet world and welcome to a new live broadcast. This is in fact my second attempt today at the live broadcast. I'm actually using the Motorola, or now known as Lenovo, Moto G5 to actually broadcast to you live. I hope you can join me for this talk about the G5 and also a look at the tech to the left of me here and the technology to the right of me here as well. We've got plenty to cover. Before I actually tell you a little bit more about the Moto G5, I'm just going to see who's into the chat and say a few hellos. So I've got Jessica Edmonds, hello there. Ryan, hi to Ryan. We've also got Interesting Barber, Reaction Gaming as well, hello to you. There are a few more of you in on the previous broadcast, which unfortunately we had some sort of data connection issue. So I hope that the picture quality is doing this smartphone justice, because I've been testing the Moto G5 for the past few days and I am very, very impressed. This is a great value smartphone, and in fact it far surpasses my expectations. It really is an awesome little device, and when you think the Moto G5 is priced so competitively, you're getting such a good package with a good screen, good specifications, and the front and rear cameras actually perform extremely well. Now you're seeing a live broadcast which depends on the data connection, so both my data connection and your data connection at your end, that's going to affect the camera quality a little bit, but I've actually recorded video from the rear facing camera and the front facing camera on the G5 and it is actually very, very good indeed. If you want to pick up a decent smartphone without spending a lot of money, the G5 is absolutely superb. Now I can't show you the Motorola G5 purely because I'm actually using it to record on, but this is what the box looks like, and I'll show you the back of the packaging as well. Now this was very kindly sent out to me by Clove Technology. They supply unlocked SIM-free smartphones, all the latest releases, great quality of service as well, and you really should check them out. When this live broadcast is finished, I will add a link to their website down in the video description. If you want to check them out now, then head on over to clove.co.uk. So, before I move on to take a look at these pieces of technology, if you can all do me a big favour and tweet out a link to the live broadcast, I will really appreciate it. And also, before I take a look at these bits of tech, I'm going to take a look at some of the comments. We've got Luke Griffiths, hi. Pro Copy Australia 1, hello to you, and Kevin is back. Thank you for coming back, Kevin. We've also got Luke Griffiths asking a question. Would you pick the Moto G5 or the Samsung Galaxy S6? That's a really difficult question because the Moto G5 is obviously a new smartphone, be it a budget end, and the Samsung Galaxy S6, when it was actually launched, was more of a flagship smartphone with really good cameras. I would probably pick the Samsung Galaxy S6 out of those two. Ryan saying the picture is very pixelated. On this live broadcast, unfortunately, I'm getting a very poor bandwidth connection. Now, maybe that's to do with the type of Wi-Fi that I've connected through with the G5. My connection here in the studio is normally very, very good indeed. So it might be to do with the G5, or it might be just overall the amount of traffic that's going through the YouTube servers at the moment. Kevin Muldoon says he would pick the G5 because of battery life, and that's a very good point. The battery life on the Moto G5 over the weekend where I've been testing it is absolutely superb. Really very, very good indeed. Rudolf Stelps, hello from Latvia. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. David Hepworth has asked G5 or iPhone 7. I would pick the iPhone 7 every single time. Now I've got a couple of boxes here and I haven't looked inside these. I had a big delivery turn up from Easy Accessories, or Easy ACC, and there were loads of cases in there for the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. And I've only just noticed, I looked at these and I thought they were just plain boxes, but I've noticed what it says on the front of the box now. It says handheld mini fan. So they're obviously wanting to prepare me for summer. So let's have a quick look in here. So we've got a USB cable, or micro USB is a full size USB. And then we've got this little fan. So this is going to have a battery in it. It has got a rechargeable battery in the side, and then we've got a fan that you can recharge via USB. It looks like a selfie stick, but obviously with a fan on top. If you could attach a camera up here, that would be really cool for vlogging. Imagine a camera on top of this. Here, I can grab my A6500. Imagine that sort of setup. That would be very, very cool indeed. Literally very cool. So a nice option for a little fan for the summer. That's from Easy Accessories. And then there's also another box they sent me here, and yes, this is another USB mini fan. Probably not a handheld one, this is a larger unit. So let's take a look in here. Yeah, this is a bigger desk type fan with a cable that's actually built in, so a non-detachable cable in this one. So this is like a desk powered fan from Easy Accessories with metal blades in there as well, so a bit heavier. It's obviously got this guard around it. So if you want to stay cool this summer, there's a couple of options for you. Now, we've got a few more comments before I move on. Would you pick Android or iPhone? Very little between it now, Jessica. I used to be all in on iOS. I mean, my daily driver is still an iPhone 7 Plus, but I'm really interested in the LG G6 and the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. I think they're going to be fantastic options. And there's so little between the operating systems. Very, very little now. And all of the apps are available across both platforms. So it depends on what operating system you prefer. DS2, shout out from West London. Hello to you, shout out back to you. Adam4427, the audio quality regarding the video recording is quite poor on the Moto G5. I've had sort of really good results with it. I've been very impressed. The audio that you're hearing now isn't coming directly from the mic on the G5. It's coming from a little Rode SmartLav Plus, which I've got connected with one of the Rode extension cables. So the audio in this broadcast should be pretty good. Kevin, video quality is getting a little better for me at 720p. That's really good to hear. Audi 1212300, greetings from the Netherlands. Hello. In fact, you've been watching my videos, Audi, for many years, and I never realised, my apologies, that you were from the Netherlands. So that's really great to learn. I love learning about where my viewers are actually located. In fact, pop that down in the chat. I'd be really interested in hearing from where you are actually watching this video. Kevin Muldoon again, agree with that 100%. Very difference between the two platforms, Android and iOS. Big shout out to Tech Droids. And Sumu Nath watching from Bangladesh. That is absolutely awesome. Welcome to the live stream. We've also got Stockholm in Sweden, Peter Westland, hello. Kevin's from Central Scotland, and Jessica Edmonds from Essex. That is absolutely awesome. Now, before I move on to this technology, and of course move back to talking a little bit more about the G5, I had a lot of questions on Twitter, and also quite a few people emailing me asking why I got hold of another Sony A6500. This is, for all intents and purposes, what I use for doing my daily vlogs now. Although they're not daily, they're every few days. On top of here, I've got a Rode Video Micro, which is a really cool little microphone, no battery power needed. That just plugs into the side of the camera. Let me give you a closer look at that. And on the front here, I've got a 10 to 18mm lens. It's a really cool camera. The only downside is that the screen doesn't rotate all the way around. It only flips up. So you're sort of relying on the great autofocus, and it is really good autofocus as well. Now, the reason I got a second one is because my other one went missing. I don't know if it was stolen. I don't know if I just misplaced it, but alas, I had to pick up another Sony A6500. Very expensive sort of loss on my part. Bit of an investment again, but it is a great camera, and I think that's testament to how good it is in the fact that I already had one and then I purchased another one. It really is a great camera, really good quality, and for doing vlog style videos, these sort of videos where you're just recording lots and lots of different things, having reliable autofocus is very important. So a really great camera, otherwise I wouldn't have bought another one. So I just wanted to touch base on that. Now, before I move on to these pieces of technology off to the left here, I'll just ask you all again, I know I keep asking favours, but if you can actually tweet out a link to this broadcast, a big thumbs up to you, tweet it out, and also include at Geekanoids, and I'll thank you after the broadcast finishes, of course. We've also got Adam. Adam4427 says, hi, do you know why I'm having trouble both sending and receiving photos via messages on the Moto G5? Would be much appreciated. Well, Adam, it's probably, I would guess, something to do with your actual network settings, so your service provider. So assuming you're in the UK, that might be Vodafone, O2, 3, EE, Tesco Mobile. It might be to do with the sort of multimedia service settings. What I would do is contact who you've got your contract with or who you've got your SIM card with, and actually ask them if they can send you an SMS message with the various settings that you need. And you can normally apply those or save them or turn the phone off and back on again to apply the settings, and then you should be good to go. But if you're paying for a service, if you're paying monthly for something and it's not working as you'd expect, then get in touch with them. I'm sure they will actually help you out there. So anyway, let's move on to these pieces of tech I've got here. And the first one, now I've tested a lot of Plantronics headsets. These are the BackBeat 500. This is what the packaging looks like. And if you look around on the back, and these are really designed to be very, very lightweight wireless headphones. And I've been very impressed with Plantronics products before. What I love about these is the actual colour combination. They're really very, very nicely made indeed. And they're super lightweight. So these aren't intended to be lightweight audiophile headphones. These are intended to be really lightweight travel wireless headphones with really good audio quality. Now you can extend the size as you can with most headphones. We've got some controls on both of these. So we've got sort of on one of the ear cups, we've got volume up and down, and then track controls on the outside. We've also got a little pinhole mic. You can actually hardwire these as well with the 3.5mm audio cable, which is inside the box as well. We've also got the micro USB charging port there as well. And then on this one here, we've got a couple of extra buttons, sort of push to talk, and we've also got a main sort of on-off switch as well. And a nice amount of padding across the top. It's got like this sort of perforated mesh across the top here. And the audio quality is very, very good indeed. Let me just make these a little tiny bit bigger. Now, the only thing I would say is, in comparison to previous Plantronics headphones that I've actually tested, the build quality, i.e. the materials used, is quite different. Before it felt very luxurious. With these, it just feels as though they could have done a little bit better with the actual type of material they've used. There's nothing wrong with them. The fit and finish is brilliant. It's just the material quality, I think, is lacking a tiny bit. But the actual audio quality for both voice going out and the audio coming in through the ear cups is superb. Really very, very good indeed. And because these are so lightweight, perhaps that's why they use this different sort of material to keep the weight down. You can wear these for hours. They are just great for travelling. Very, very light, very compact. The icing on the cake would have been if they'd have been foldable, but apart from that, they are superb. And I love this sort of orange. I'm a fan of orange. This sort of coppery orange colour is very, very good as well. Really good. So these are the Plantronics BackBeat 500. And again, once this broadcast is finished and it goes live on the main channel, I'll add a link to these down in the video description. Now, before I show you this next product, just sitting here, let's take a look at the chat. Audi 123000, no worries Dave, love the content mate. Chris Winter from Australia, amazing. You know, I'll tell you a funny story. Back in 1993, oh my goodness, it's showing my age now, but back in 93 I actually spent 3 years in the United States of America, and this is how this relates to Australia. Everywhere I went when we were doing a bit of travelling, everyone thought I was Australian, so they do mistake the sort of British accent with Australian accent quite a lot. I don't think I sound Australian, but a lot of other people do, so there you go. Sunyu Nath asks, why do you use the Rode Video Mic Go? You have the Rode Video Mic Pro. A really good question. I used the Video Mic Go, or in this case the Video Micro, on the sort of cameras I use out and about, sort of when I'm doing the recording when I travel to London or I've got an event to go to, purely because they don't use batteries. And when I'm recording in the studio or on location where I've got a planned sort of video shoot, so I've got more preparation time, then I use the Video Mic Pro or the Stereo Video Mic Pro. It does give you better audio quality, it gives you more gain, but then of course you do have to make sure you've got batteries. So that's why. Harvey says, hey Dave, do you think the A7R on S3, or what do you think the A7R and S3 will have in store? Wow, well I know we're expecting an announcement anytime soon, probably this week or early next week from Sony. I think they're going to announce a new compact camera, or possibly a mirrorless, but I think more likely a compact camera, also some camcorders, and we are expecting the 7S3 and 7R3. I think the resolution is going to stay pretty much the same. I think they're going to increase the bit rate. I think we'll also get dual card slots on them as well. And I do think they'll increase the actual performance with regards to autofocus. Again, they're already very good, but I think they'll increase that again. And one of the things that I really like about the Sony cameras is the fact that they have got really great colour rendition. I really do like it. And the fact that you can actually colour grade after the event as well. One of the things I don't like about the Sony cameras, which I pointed out on the A6500, is they haven't got fully articulating screens. So I do hope that with the new A7S3 and A7R3, they give us fully articulating screens, touch to focus, all the stuff we've come to expect from other manufacturers, including Panasonic for example, which do great touch screens and fully articulating. I just hope that Sony are listening to us and give us that in their next range of cameras. So it's going to be very, very exciting. We've also got Audi 12300 saying the video quality is slowly improving. That's really good to hear. And Sunyu Nath asks what my daily driver is. It's the iPhone 7 Plus. So very, very good indeed. And for my main videos, Sunyu also asks what do I use for my main videos. I use the Panasonic GH5. Although I'm not convinced about the autofocus on that, not as good as I expected it to be. And I also really use the Panasonic G80 when I'm getting used to the GH5. The GH5 may well go back. You know, it may well go back, so I'm not entirely decided on that yet. So anyway, let's have a look at this next product. And it's got a bit of weight to it. It is from TerraMaster. This is what the packaging looks like, and if you look on the side here, it is the model F2-220. Now I have reviewed a TerraMaster product before. The one I reviewed before from them was a direct attached storage device. It was like a RAID drive, which you could put up to 5 discs in. This particular one is a 2-bay drive, but this isn't direct attached storage. It is in fact a NAS drive. Now I love NAS products, I really do. I use them for backing up all of the videos I create on the main Geekanoids channel, and in fact the other channels that I run as well. I back up absolutely everything. I've got terabytes upon terabytes upon terabytes of storage. This is another option for you because it comes in at such a great price point. We've got an Ethernet connection on the back. We've also got 2 USB 3s and a fan. The fan obviously keeps the internals cool and the hard drives cool. The USB hosts on the back here can be used for connecting maybe an external hard drive. And then we've got the 2 bays on the front, main power and off button, and some LED activity lights. The idea behind something like this is you put in 2 3.5 inch serial ATA drives, or if you really want to, you could put in solid state drives, but for a NAS, I would stick with actual physical moving drives. They're a lot cheaper, a lot larger capacity. And then you can have this as your central storage location. So like my example I used earlier, all of my videos I store on a NAS, and then I can actually access them on my iPhone. I can access them on my laptop, which is just off screen here. So I can actually look at all of my videos on my MacBook Pro. And even when I'm off site, so if I'm traveling, I can still gain access to my files using a web browser. So a NAS drive is a very, very good option for a central storage location. And you can also use this sort of thing for actually serving up media files to a large screen telly. So as long as they've got DLNA support, you can normally see what's on these and actually play back video files or look at photos or listen to music. Really very flexible devices, and this particular one is made of metal, very nice construction, plastic on the front and also plastic on the back, but the main encasement is made of aluminium, and it keeps things nice and cool inside and also gives some rigidity to the product. So again, I'll leave a link down in the video description area to where you can pick up one of these for yourself. It's just a great value proposition if you're looking for a NAS drive. So anyway, that's it for a look at the technology. Let's have a look at some of the questions again. Now, we have got Harvey saying, totally agree, Dave. You're going to have to remind me on that. Oh, about the actual features on the A7R and S3. Good that you agree. Let me know, Harvey, what you're expecting or what your wish list is in the comment section below. I'd be really interested to learn about that. Panasonic versus Sony. It really depends. It really does depend. They both produce great quality photos and videos, so there's very little in it nowadays. I would base what camera you buy as to what actual lenses you own. If you've got a small lens collection, then stick within that sort of ecosystem. Jared Doubt asks, hi Dave, what's your opinion on the Pebble Time smartwatch? Well, they're no longer around. Pebble are no longer manufacturing smartwatches, they're no longer developing, so there's very little sort of incentive to actually invest in something like that now, unless you get a really good deal. I'm not a big fan of smartwatches. In fact, proof of point here, I wear a fitness tracker on this wrist, so it's a little bit more discreet. I don't have a smartwatch because I find that the notifications on it are more of a distraction than a help to me. Just me personally. I know other people feel the same, but I also know a lot of you absolutely love your smartwatches. I've had many of them in for review. They're great quality and they're good in their own right, but it's just not for me because I like my traditional wristwatches, my mechanical wristwatches. And in fact, this one is from Jungens in Germany. This is the new Form A watch from them. Fully automatic, and I think it just looks superb. In fact, I just published a video about this on the Luxury Lifestyle channel. So I'm more of a traditional watch kind of guy rather than a smartwatch, but I often get people saying to me, why am I wearing two watches? And I have to explain, well, actually that's a fitness tracker. So more questions. We've got Kevin, what Windows wired wireless keyboard do you recommend? I tested a lot because over Christmas, just gone, Christmas 2016, I had both of my wireless keyboards actually become faulty. So I was in the search for a new keyboard, and during that search I actually tested quite a lot, and the one that stayed on my desk, well actually two stayed on my desks, but my main keyboard is the Kanex multi-sync keyboard, or multi-sync, and it's like a keyboard that you connect wirelessly via Bluetooth, and you can actually connect it to 4 different devices. So it could be a couple of computers, even a tablet, even a smartphone if you wanted to. That's the one that stayed. It's a chiclet style keyboard. The other one is the Microsoft Surface keyboard. Every bit as good as the Apple ones I was using before, and every bit as good as my Logitech ones that became faulty. Really top stuff. Microsoft, in fact, have been really impressing me lately with their hardware. Not a big fan of the software, their operating system, but a big fan of their hardware. They've been doing some really great stuff. Kevin says that he looked in curries the other day. Most of them are terrible. You probably sway towards chiclet over mechanical. Check out that Kanex one, Kevin. It really is worth it. Really is worth taking a look. It's really well built. I think the only negative I came up with on that Kanex one was that the power supply, not the power supply, the power switch is on the underside, and I would have liked it to be on the back or the side. That's just me being lazy, not wanting to pick up the keyboard every morning to turn it on. Ryan Darcy, Dave, is there a safe way to factory reset my MacBook without losing the operating system? Not really. You can do like a restore, leaving your files in place. I think you can still do that. I'm trying to remember, it's so long since I've done it, because what I normally do every sort of 6 to 12 months is I do a complete refresh. So I move all my files off, format the drive, and then reinstall the operating system. So I don't think you can do a factory reset as such. You could create a new user, which would create you sort of a new user account to use if you're having problems. We could restart in sort of a safe mode. But as for doing just a restore, I don't think you can. But that's purely because of my lack of knowledge on it. Chime in. Anybody else know better? Then let Ryan know in the chat. That'd be really helpful. Are there any more questions? There's one from Fadi Rahim. Hi Dave, what's your opinion about Xiaomi smartphones? They make some great products. They did a Note range which were really good, and I've reviewed a few as well, and the quality of these Chinese brands and imported smartphones is really very, very good nowadays. They're really ramping up on production and quality, so I would take a look. If you're interested, take a look. They're a very, very cost effective way of getting a lot of specification for your money. Any more questions? Kevin says the KNX looks good but it's Mac only. You're looking for one that is good when using Windows. I'll try and have a look for you, Kevin, because there were some others I was looking at. I mean, if you're looking to pair when using Windows, then look at that Microsoft Surface keyboard. It is really very, very good indeed, superbly built, and I think it exceeds the actual quality and the typing sort of feedback you get from the keys over and above the Apple keyboards. And you know I'm a big Apple fan, so definitely have a look at the Microsoft Surface keyboard as well. David Hepworth says you can reinstall macOS and keep everything. See, I've just forgotten because I've sort of fallen out of that way of doing things. I'm sort of starting to remember now that yes, you can, but for me, I don't do it that way. I've never sort of had to do it that way. I've always managed to have all of my data off of my laptop. So for example, I've got my MacBook Pro here. I don't store any of my video files on it or any of my work files. They're all on either external hard drives with multiple backups, they're in the cloud, or they're on a NAS drive. So, but really helpful, David. Thank you for sharing that. So you can do it and leave all of your files in place. So anyway, before I end this live broadcast, I must just let you know this is my first live broadcast since having my wisdom teeth done, and I have still got problems. So it is very, very painful actually talking at the moment, but I'm not going to cut the live broadcast short because I just want to spend a little bit more time talking about this. Now I know you can't actually see the smartphone because I'm using it to do this live broadcast, but the Moto G5 from Lenovo has got a 5-inch Full HD screen, 1080p. It's got a 1.4 GHz octa-core processor, a 13 megapixel rear facing camera and a 5 megapixel front facing camera, and a 2800 milliamp hour all day battery. Now the battery life on this is absolutely fantastic. I've also been doing some tests and I've been recording the from the rear facing camera some really good video quality footage, and I'm really pleased with the actual sort of colour rendition and the accuracy that the G5 or the Moto G5 produces. Now at the moment I'm actually using the front facing camera for this broadcast, and that's only 5 megapixels, but it's still good enough for HD video, and again very, very clear and crisp. No hunting of focus. It's keeping me in focus really very, very nicely. And I know you might not be seeing the quality at your end of this particular broadcast, but what I'm seeing on the screen is pin sharp. And the battery life, fantastic. I think this arrived with me last Wednesday or Thursday, or it might have been, yeah, around about that time. And it's been very, very good indeed. In fact, over sort of Sunday, I used it all day, didn't do any recharging. I'm still broadcasting on it now from a single charge, and I've got roughly about 45% battery life left. That is pretty impressive. The screen is very, very good quality. The actual performance, more than snappy enough for general tasks. I think the only reason you wouldn't buy the G5 is if you're a real hardcore gamer and you needed that top end performance, or indeed you were doing a lot of video recording and you really needed 4K video, then you wouldn't buy this. But for the price, it is absolutely awesome. I've got it in like the slate grey colour. You can see a couple of pictures on the back here. Comes in like a gold or a grey, and I've got it in the slate grey, and it looks really nice. Almost forgot to mention as well, it's also got a fingerprint sensor which is super accurate, I've had 99%, I would say, of fingerprint reads accurately. Just on the odd occasion when I had my thumb at a slight sort of angle or was picking the phone up awkwardly, did it refuse to read the fingerprint. So for your money, this is absolutely amazing. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast, this was sent out to me by Clove Technology. So do check them out at clove.co.uk. So anyway, if we've got any more questions before I end the broadcast, it's been great that you've all tuned in. I really do appreciate it. And I know this wasn't an ideal time of the day to do the broadcast, but I wanted to jump on whilst I had some good light in the studio, and also just to see whether my jaw would hold up to talking for longer than 30 minutes. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. Don't forget, if you're in the market for a really good smartphone, then check out the Moto G5. It shows you that you don't have to spend a fortune to actually get good quality. Do keep an eye on the Geekanoids channel, because a lot of you have been asking, where are the live broadcasts? That was because I was in recovery mode, but now I'm back and I've got a couple of smartphones coming in which you'll be really interested in. I've got the LG G6 coming into the studio, and also the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, and I'll be using both of them not only to bring you a review, but also to do a broadcast like this. You get to see how they perform when using that front-facing camera. So anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Keep all of the comments coming. Always feel free to tweet me as well at Geekanoids. I'm on Twitter quite a lot, so I respond pretty quickly normally on Twitter if you've got any tech related questions. Have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I'll see you again soon in another video on the Geekanoids channel.